Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side podcast. As always, that's Mr. Inka Yusuf.
Good evening, people. How are we doing?
And I'm Akin Adeke. Inka,
Yes,
you
boss.
are over there looking like a Nigeria goalkeeper in
Yes.
your Nigeria goalkeeper kit.
Yes, sir.
But, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
All
all
right.
right. I decided to dress like Stanley Wabali.
Oh, God.
It's been getting a
I
lot
hope
of
you don't behave
It's been
like
getting
Stanley
a lot. It's
Wabali.
been getting a lot of stick. He's left his club in South
As he
Africa
should.
by mutual agreements and stuff.
Are you
So
surprised?
he's clubless right now. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna
Are
happen
you
to him.
surprised?
I don't know what's gonna happen to him. Like I always advise people, don't leave a job for no job, right?
I've done it before.
As I tell you, don't listen to my advice. So it's obvious now. You just outed yourself in front of everybody. But I would expect in the January transfer window something should have happened to him. So I don't know.
Okay, let me say what I'm going to say very, very carefully.
Yes, sir.
Is he a good goalkeeper?
What do you mean by good?
So, our Supreme Court here many moons ago, right,
Yes.
had a case about pornography. And they were trying to define what pornography is. And one of the justices, I think is passed now, deep conservative justice, I think came up with, I know it when I see it, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I would respond to you. Like, I know good goalkeeping when I see it. Does Stanley Nwabali strike you as a good? Like, is your heart in your chest or your mouth when you're watching it?
It's too early in this show for us to go off tangent, right? We promised
No, this is not tangent. This is serious. Answer the question, Inka. Answer the question. Don't sit on the fence.
I plead the fifth.
Is your heart firmly in your chest or is it in your mouth when you're watching it? It's not a good goalkeeper, Inka. He says something about our country, our people, the decadence of it all. That is our country's number one. He's not good, Yinka. He's not good.
I plead the fifth. That's my position.
Continue pleading the fifth. To the point where I'm watching Arthur Okonkwo, right, who is the Arsenal trained goalkeeper
at Wrexham.
At Wrexham. And for those who don't follow, Wrexham is the Hollywood
Championship club.
Championship, and they went from League 2. Were they non-league when Hollywood took over?
Completely non-league, right? Yeah. And they might be coming to Premiership next year.
It's possible. Yeah,
they might be coming to Premiership next year.
Yeah, I don't watch him week in, week out, but
if that happens, we won't be shocked if Ted Lasso goes to Wrexham.
I saw him in the league, and I'm like, in the cup.
In the cup,
like, he's not. Nigeria should call this guy.
Yeah, they should. They should.
But anyway.
But
we're back to our usual digs. Hope you're well, Yinka.
I'm good.
We have a packed 1 hour, so let's get into it. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna start with what he mentions by looking at the week that passed. There was in England second leg of the semifinals of the Carabao Cup.
Yes,
over 2 days. On Tuesday, Chelsea, aka reigning world champions, came to the Emirates and redefined football. Apparently, you and I have been doing this thing completely wrong, all this while. Apparently, Yinka, when you play a first leg and you were lucky to escape 2-3 at home, and you go across town for the second leg, and you have 90 minutes to score one goal to take it to extra time and two goals to win it, you can apparently, guess what you do? Guess what you do? You put your big burly number 9 at right wing. You play a back 5, right? And you play tic-tac-toe for the first 45 minutes. And you put enough money in the pundits' mouths in the studio, and they tell you how great you are. It's amazing. I've never seen this. I've never seen this thing. I've been watching, I don't know how long I've been watching ball. It doesn't matter. 40 years?
40 years. 40 years, yes.
I've never seen this before. But you're the glass half full guy. I'm the pessimist who doesn't believe in any human being that I've ever met. So I will shut my mouth, and I'll let you tell me how this is not the worst thing you've ever seen in your life.
Okay, so how do I place this that it doesn't seem as if I'm being too harsh? Maybe I just need to let it go. I don't need to worry about being too harsh or not being too harsh.
Okay.
So you are mad until it works, then you're a genius. Yeah?
Okay.
What he planned, was, now I'm playing devil's advocate. In my opinion, what he planned was, I can't go at these guys for 90 minutes, right? Let me turn this game into a 30-minute game and see if I can blitz them in the last 30 minutes. Yeah?
Okay.
But that is silly inherently. Yeah?
Okay.
If it had worked, and to some extent, because Arsenal too were like, Arsenal didn't have anything to play for. They were like, okay, you don't want to play? Oh, okay, man, we'll see. We'll see what will happen, It backfired, a boomerang, they blew up in his face, yeah? If I were to be Liam, I would not do the same.
Okay.
I will never do that. If I'm the coach and it's my team, I will not do that. I will not be so... See, I don't even mind playing 3 at the back. It means that you have attacking, what do you call it? Wing backs, right wing backs, and left wing backs that can bomb down the flanks. A 3-5-2 can either be a defensive move or an offensive move. It depends on, the mentality or how you tell your team to play the 3-5-2. What I will not excuse is Delap on the right. I don't understand. that I would not understand, right? So the tactics blew up in his face, but like I said, you're mad until it works, and people will say, "Oh, you're a genius." What surprised me the most is people didn't even let it work before they started calling him genius. It needs to work before you say, actually, that's ingenuity. Do you understand? That's ingenuity. But it didn't work. You need to wait. You were eager to call it, oh, that's a masterclass. And I'm talking to Mr. Gary Neville, by the way. Yeah. Who kept on saying, Chelsea have Arsenal on a cliff. I'm like, are we watching the same game? Are we watching the same game? I don't understand what's going on here. Which cliff? Who is comfortable here? Who needs to score? It's not Arsenal. It is Chelsea. Chelsea are the ones I will expect to bring the game to Arsenal. But out of fear, right? Going back to my initial point, out of fear, Liam was like, if I try to blitz these guys from minute 1, they will finish me. Let me just be conservative. Let's turn this into a 15, 20, 30 minute game and see what comes out of it. Yeah? It didn't work. I'm sorry. It did not. Arsenal had the clearer chances. In my opinion, and we'll talk about refs later on, Arsenal had 2 penalties that were not given. There was one in the first half where, what's his name? Fofana jumped into the air like this. I don't know who jumps, and they said his hand was in natural position. Who jumps like this, Aki? When you're not Superman. You jump like this. Nobody jumps like that. The ball hit his hand. His hand was next to Nkapie's head. The ball hit his hand. It stopped Nkapie from nodding the ball. And the VAR looked at it and said his hands were in a normal position. That's the first one. Then the second one was Chalobah on Martinelli, right?
Yeah.
Which was it? Come on, man.
It took his legs from under him.
I don't know what's the penalty anymore. I keep saying this. People think I'm joking. I've been watching football for 40 years. Yeah. Till now, I don't know what the penalty is. I thought I did up until 2 or 3 years ago when VAR came in and the refs just started misbehaving. But going back to Liam's tactics, yeah, I'm sorry, man. You don't play it safe in that kind of situation, right? It is the onus is on you to attack and get the win. Yeah.
Okay.
You need to do better next time. Okay.
We're not gonna spend too much time on this because this is still the Calabash Cup, as they call it. I have derided this cup as the Calabash Cup in the past. I'm not gonna change my mind now. But this anti-Arsenal bent in the pundit world in England, in the sports broadcast world in England. We have to keep calling it out because it is so bad, Yinka. It is so bad. And like you said, they were doing this in real time. Thankfully, I wasn't watching that feed.
I was.
But I saw clips later. I was not.
I was.
And then apparently even other commentators, right, including former Arsenal players, were doing the same thing.
Yeah, what's his name? The right back, Dixon.
Right back, Lee Dixon.
Lee Dixon was doing the
same thing. So this thing where when Arsenal does something that doesn't result in the preferred result, it's the worst thing in the world. When someone else does it, it's either a nothing burger or you applaud it for its genius. So let me speak about Liam Rosenior real quick. So again, remember, a few years ago, was it the Oscar? It was at the Oscar, and someone put a mic in front of an actress, Issa Rae. It was like, who are you rooting for tonight? And she said, I'm rooting for everybody black. That's me. I believe that's you too. If you're black in this industry where they don't give black people jobs, I'm rooting for you, right? Yeah. I don't know if this guy identifies as black because who knows in 2026, but I'll use the Brazilian term. He has visible blackness. So I'm rooting for him, right? And there's like 2 who are coaching in the EPL. And there hasn't been like 2 in a season in I don't know how
in like forever.
We've gone many seasons where there was not 1. Okay. So this is a big deal. He's also, he is who he is. They're now calling him LinkedIn Liam. Because of all the word salad things he says, but I have some sympathy for him because we've seen with Amorim when Amorim came in, if you're a little bit studious and you do the work and you do your job, people want to ridicule you. They ridiculed Amorim. He didn't get enough chances. Maybe it would have worked. I don't know. They even ridiculed an accomplished person like Van Gaal, Louis Van Gaal, because he had a different way of doing it. Mourinho came and said, I'm the special one. He won. So that was okay. No one could ever ridicule Pep because he had results, but they still ridicule Arteta till this day. How in Newcastle, is ridiculed. Pretty much anyone who doesn't do it like the old school coaches, is ridiculed. But I think there's a group of young coaches right now who are changing the face,
the landscape,
of the coaching game. Yeah, the landscape, and they're more studious. They use every data. In a way, it takes the quote unquote joy out of football, but that's where we're going. People take this thing as a real job. Shaka is going to join them. Shaka is going to be a coach. This is, I'm not breaking news. He's going to do the work. He's going to do his homework. He's going to be a tactically astute manager, and he's going to manage a big club in the future. That's just where we're going. You can tell when they're playing who is going to be that kind of coach. And it's not, for me, it's not happenstance that Carrick cannot stop winning. It's not happenstance. I don't know if he can do this over 38 games, but clearly the man does his homework and he puts his players in areas where they can succeed.
Yep.
So because of that, I don't want to disparage this guy, even though there's a lot of fodder out there that we can use.
Yeah.
But he needed a goal and he didn't go for it over 90 minutes. He tried to go for it over 30 minutes at the end and he got caught. Let's call it exactly what it is. Let's not say he reinvented football. He didn't reinvent football. Yinka, I was trying to look for the XG. Do you have it?
I can fish it out.
I think it was 0.31. I may be mixing it up, but it was very low. They needed one goal, and I don't think they had an XG of 1.0. I think it was significantly below 1.0. So they were never going to score that one goal, Yinka. They had, it's what's his face? Their captain, Fernandez, right?
Yes.
That's the captain.
Yes.
Yeah. He took all his shots. Yeah. There was one shot that was maybe inside the box. All of his other shots were outside. So yes, were there like, hearts and mouth moments at the end? Yeah. But I think they had one shot on goal or 0 shot on goal.
They had 2 shots on goal. They had two shots on goal. But they were team efforts, right? And in terms of XG, you were right, it's 0 point something, yeah? Big chances created, Arsenal had 2, they had none in the whole game. Yeah.
They were never going to win that game. Okay. So anyway, congratulate. Sorry, go ahead.
Before we move on, right?
Yeah.
Talking about Liam, and I'll make this quick.
Okay.
Liam, he needs to. Everything you said, I agree with, but he needs to chill out a bit. Yeah. There were some things that happened before the game. The encroachment. Oh, stay in your half. You saw all those. Oh, the stay in your half comment. Arsenal goalkeeper coach coming to retrieve the ball. You saw the camera and you thought this was a chance to prove that you had aura, right?
Yeah.
We don't do that. The coaching world is mocking you right now. Even me, I was like, what's going on? When I heard the news, I was like, what's this about? When I looked at the whole situation, I'm like, come on, Liam. You saw the camera and you wanted to show them you had authority. You had aura. You're playing to the gallery. That's not how you're going to stay in a coaching job for a long time. If the camera wasn't there, Liam wouldn't have said anything. But he saw the camera and he wanted to show that, I have authority. I was like, stay in your half. Stay in your effing half. I'm like, what is this about? And you then come out after the game and you go to that and say Arsenal disrespected you by a goalkeeper coach coming to retrieve the ball in your half while the teams are warming up.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And the sports world just took it off and this thing now blew out of proportion. And I'm like, dude, you think this is helping you? It's not helping you.
So
that's my case.
In mitigation, this is what I would say. A lot of big club managing these days is managing personalities and managing the media.
Yeah.
The best ones manipulate the media. Pep is one of the best. Pep is already like manipulating the media ahead of a final that is 6 weeks away, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
Right? He's already saying they won't let him sign Maguire, but the rules are very clear, right? When you signed Maguire, right, from Crystal Palace, you had already played the first half of your semifinal. So he can't play in the final because he wasn't signed before you played the semifinal, the first half of the semifinal. That's why Maguire cannot play. Semenyo can play because Semenyo was signed before. I mean, you knew the rules. Your team should have worked faster on the contracts or whatever, but he's going to say it nonetheless. If you notice, he didn't commit to, we're going to appeal. He's just speaking. He's just
putting it out there.
Putting it out there. He's
just putting it out there.
So that's how you manipulate the media. And there's enough people looking for content that you can, in this polarized world that we live in, you can get, you can be sure, if not half, 1/3 of the chattering class will run with it. it will become. We're talking about it right now. So that's something Liam has to learn. When you were at Strasbourg or when you were interim at Derby or assistant when Rooney, nobody knew who you are. When you played, nobody knew who you are. So this is new for him, right?
Yeah.
So he is at a point now where Chelsea think they're a big club. People follow them. There's a lot of Chelsea fan media. So he has to play to the gallery a little bit. The one thing, there's some coaches who do not play to the gallery. Them.
Yes.
One of them coaches in Italy. He does not care.
He doesn't care.
He does. He's the gallery. He doesn't. There's another one in La Liga. He does not care. When he's going crazy, when Diego Simeone is going crazy on the sideline, it's because he's actually going crazy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's because it's actually going crazy.
No.
He's authentic. If he throws a punch, it's because he actually wants to kill you.
Absolutely.
It's not trying to send a message. If he has something to say to his players, he will say it to their face. So it's just different personalities. But Yinka,
yes,
there
sir.
was another second semi-final, second leg.
Yeah.
I did not watch it because I don't really care.
I didn't watch it either.
Yeah, I don't even know what the score is.
I think he ended up.
Do you know what the score was?
3-1 or so. I think he ended up 3-1 in favor of City.
It's five. So
it was 5-1 on aggregate, right?
Okay, all right.
Newcastle are on the decline. Yeah, they lost at home again. We'll talk about the EPL shortly.
They lost to Brentford at home.
Yeah. Anyway.
Even though they were given a penalty, that was not a penalty, but that's okay. So the final is set. It's March 22nd in Wembley, and it's City versus Arsenal. Both teams are going for the quadruple, and I know this is a big thing, and everybody's talking about, but that is the reality. Both teams are in all 4 tournaments right now. Right, so that is the fact. So
I think it's better you say both teams are still in the top in the 4 competitions rather than saying they are going for quadruple. Because people will come after you.
And Arsenal are the favorite in every single competition. And if they don't win any, it's not bottling. If they don't win all 4, it's not bottling. Yinka, before, let me close this loop. Everyone's favorite coach ever. One of my favorite too, Jurgen Klopp.
Yes.
Right? In his 7 full seasons, I think, in England, right? In his career, he's lost the final of the Champions League 3 times in his career.
Yeah.
He's won it once, but he's lost, 3 times. He went head to head with Pep Guardiola for 6-ish of the 7 or 8 seasons he was there. He won the league once.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. And I still think he's a great coach, and I still think it was fantastic for Liverpool.
I totally agree with
context matter.
Totally agree with you.
So, Yinka, let's reclaim our time and do a quick breeze through the top 5 leagues. Tell us what happened in Ligue 1 in France this past week.
So Ligue 1, the game of the week is still going on. In fact, I have it on the screen here. PSG are pummeling Marseille right now. They just got the 5th. Dembele scored 2 goals, 2 beautiful goals to start with. Kvaratskhelia, 1 own goal. It's 5-0 and it's 74 minutes right now. PSG are going back to the top of the table, 2 points ahead of Lens. Lens won again. Our guy Nwaneri only played the first 45 minutes. They took him off. He didn't have a good game. So like I told you, it's a matter of time. PSG's strength in the quality they have, the squad depth is gonna pull through at the end of the day, and they're gonna convincingly win this stuff, right? But it is what it is. They're leading 5-0 at the moment.
It's on my TV as well. I just saw the last goal. And Timber's twin brother, they just showed his face on TV. He's with Marseille. It's just like, it's sweating bullets right now. Yeah.
Quick tangent. In terms of identical twins, I think those guys, Quentin and Julian, they're the most identical I've seen in a long
football
time.
world, right?
In the football world, they're clearly number one. In fact, Juve can play for Arsenal and fly to Marseille and go play in his brother's position, and nobody will know.
Ever know.
Nobody will ever know. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. So that's what's happening in Ligue 1. Let us go real quick to the Bundesliga, where Yinka can decide whether the season's over or whether there may be
I told you
situation.
I told you the season has been over since. It's just Bayern are trying to just make it a bit more interesting. Exactly. Yeah. So they were home to Hoffenheim. They beat Hoffenheim 5-1. Kane's got 2, and I think Luis Diaz got a hat trick, I believe. Yeah. I've not seen the highlights of that one. 6 points gap. Bayern have goal difference of plus 60.
That's crazy.
Pure madness.
Nika, real quick. I was going to do this at the end, but let me do this now. So we have a 6-point gap in the Bundesliga, and we think it's over. Yes. We have a 6-point gap in the EPL, and we think we're in the hottest race to the title.
Yes.
Is this madness?
No,
is this madness?
It's just about the quality of the league. I don't think there's anything wrong in that, right? If you get what I mean. The only person,
right?
The only team that can catch Bayern right now is Dortmund. Yeah? And you and I know the way Dortmund function. Yeah?
Yeah.
They are, if you're looking for butlers, the original butlers, right? It's Dortmund. From a footballing standpoint,
1996.
Exactly. From a footballing standpoint, from a business standpoint, the owners are just in it to make money. They don't really want to win stuff. They don't want to compete. They're more business than football. Yeah. So looking at them, so for example, the people that Bayern beat, Offenheim are third. Bayern just beat the third place team 5-1 convincingly. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's about the quality of the chasing pack. That's why everybody believes Bayern, it's a done deal. Whereas on the other side, some people had City, including myself, at the beginning of the season as the favorites to win the league. The favorites are now 6 points behind the quote unquote underdog. Right, so you see where I'm coming from.
I understand.
I think that's the main issue here.
Let's go to Italy and Serie A. This was the tightest one before, and then over the last month, it's not been quite as tight. Yeah, things just started dissipating. So tell us what happened this past week.
It's blowing up seriously. Inter still ahead. Inter on 58 points. Inter won. I think they won today. They beat Sassuolo 5-0 or so today. Juve Lazio are playing currently. It was 2-1 the last time I checked. It's still 2-1. It's still 2-1. Lazio were beating Juventus at home 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah. Milan have a game in hand, but they are 8 points behind Inter. The only team, Napoli also. Napoli are 9 points behind Inter, a point behind Milan. Napoli were lucky this weekend. They had a man down. They were a man down. They were drawing 2-0, and then they got a penalty. Okay, it's a penalty, fair. They got a penalty, and your boy, the man you reject, Højlund stepped up, scored, and this was in injury time. So there was a snatch and grab by Napoli away to Genoa. So they won 3-2. But it's looking like it's a Milan 2-horse race at the moment, and it seems Inter will eventually win it. I'm actually quite disappointed. Not really disappointed. I feel for Milan. They've only lost one game. AC Milan, that is.
Yeah,
they've only lost one game, but too many draws. They have 8 draws. So that's the problem with them. But I like the way they look.
you know what that means, right? It just means you're not good enough. We've
Yeah,
seen this
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
If you can't convert your draws to wins, there's something fundamentally wrong with your team.
yeah. I
We
agree.
saw that in the EPL last year with both City and Arsenal.
Yeah,
And conversely, with Liverpool, Liverpool were winning things that could have been a draw.
yeah,
They were crushing the weaker teams early, and then they were scoring late to bring themselves out of trouble, so to speak.
yeah.
So sometimes it's your year, and sometimes it's not.
It's
Okay,
not. Yeah.
Inka, let us
Yes, sir.
go to La Liga.
Yes,
What
sir.
is happening in La Liga? Yeah,
Madrid just scored right now.
who are they playing?
They're playing their way to Valencia, 67th minute or so. Their left back just scored. When I tell you there's some defending that happens outside of the Premier League, if it
Don't do
happens in
that.
the Premier League, you'll be like, so guys, go watch highlights of
The,
Bournemouth Villa whenever you have the
yeah,
chance.
yeah,
The Brazilian that Bournemouth bought, Ryan scored the equalizer for Bournemouth.
yeah,
Lucas Digne, the French left back for Villa, the defending he did, or not that he didn't even defend. He just let the guy walk by him, and he was pointing to his co-defender to say, it's exactly what I just saw now for Madrid's goal. The left back literally ran past 3 people, and all of them were looking at him. Nobody put in a tackle, nobody, and he just placed the ball. In fact, he scuffled the shot itself, and the ball,
yeah.
he scored. You know?
Inca, conversely, in that same Bournemouth versus Villa game,
Yes.
right? It ended up being 1-1, but
Yes.
Villa had a chance, with the keeper approaching, I forget this guy's name, really good young player, had already pretty much, in Nigeria we say, oh, height,
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much lifted the ball above the goalkeeper. And the
Yeah.
ball was going into the net,
And it was cleared.
and this guy, Kwanzaa, I think that's his
Kwanzaa,
name.
yeah.
He ran and cleared the ball, and almost just he was just spent. He couldn't. He was just heaving. I'm like, you know what? Kudos to that man, because he
Yeah.
kept it at goalless.
Yeah.
And then Morgan does what Morgan does. If you look, this was one of the stranger, and I know we're not talking about the EPL yet. Was one of the stranger. I've become an XG person. I check XG now before I do anything else, Yinka. And I'm looking at him like, this was 1-1. They had an XG of less than 1. Villa did. And I think Bournemouth had an XG of maybe 2.
I watched the game.
Maybe
the
2 point something. You watched the game,
Field tilt
right?
was in favor of Bournemouth. Bournemouth should.
And I'm like,
Bournemouth had Villa on life support.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is. They had Villa on life support, and they should have won that game. They should have.
Your boy had a few saves that were great.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
The Argentine goalkeeper, Martinez. Yeah.
And then the shot making of Morgan Rogers. That goal had no business being a goal, right?
Yeah.
So that was just like, he just took the ball, boom, one time,
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. Back to La Liga before we move on. Yeah. They had their semi-final Super Copa del Rey. I keep mixing the two of them. Our guy,
Copa del Rey, which is the King's Cup, which is the FA Cup.
Yeah. So Atletico Madrid had his debut, had a goal and assist. They beat Betis away. Then today, Betis came to Atletico Madrid and beat them at home.
Wow.
Betis beat Atletico 1-0. It was this Man U. What's his name? What's that Man United? The Brazilian. I forgot his name.
Not Alex. What's his name again? No. Anthony.
Yeah, it was Bagada that scored.
Why are you calling Bagada? What did this guy do?
Anthony Bagada now.
Lagos, my God, Anthony Bagada. That's terrible.
Anyway, so he scored, which was kind of funny. So Betis have no business winning the league, right? Their fans were angry at losing the FA Cup at home, right? And now they came to Madrid and they're like, we don't really. Yeah, we beat them. This is the first time we're winning at the Metropolitan Stadium. Whatever. They're not really impressed. Wow. They wanted that FA win because that's the, in terms of percentages, that is the most likely trophy for them. I just found that interesting. Baka, on the other
Didn't
hand,
they do well in the Copa del Rey last season? Were they in the final, or did I make that up?
I can't remember.
They went far. It may
No,
have been
it
the
was in the
semifinal, but I
Conference
know.
Cup. They were the ones that Chelsea beat in the final. I think that's what you're referring to.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It was that. That's what you're referring to. Baka beat Mallorca. They beat Mallorca 3-0.
It was
Lewandowski
2-1 when I stopped paying attention. But
No. I think it was 3-0, not 2-1 or 2-0.
it was 3-1. Okay.
It
Yeah,
ended
when
up
I stopped
3-0.
paying attention.
Yeah. Baka look solid offensively again. XG 2.6. Mallorca just didn't have any business. They didn't even bring their A game. Baka looked quite comfortable. If Madrid win this game, the point will remain 1 point difference between the two.
Yeah.
So we're just keeping. I think this is going to be like this until the next Clasico, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Okay, quick one before we move on. In terms of stats, right?
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe has scored 22 goals this season.
Yeah. In the Premier League or in all competitions?
In La Liga.
In the La Liga or
only
all competitions?
La Liga only 22 goals.
Okay. That's similar to Holland. Similar to Holland.
Yeah, I can check Holland's whatever.
Yeah.
The next
2021 or so.
The next to him is a Mallorca striker with 15 and Ferran Torres with 12. Yeah. Lamine Yamal has 10. Lewandowski has 10. So here's my point. I like the fact that Baka is spreading the goals around. Yeah. It shows the sign of maybe a team that is that are comfortable with their identity and they play together for everybody to succeed. Yeah. But I can't say the same for Madrid. It's like Kylian Mbappe will have a hunchback very soon. This dude is carrying the whole team. Even in this game that I'm watching here, the Valencia game, he's the only one. He's the only one. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think you're being very kind. So if you remember when we did our preview, I told you that my prediction was Barca was going to win the league. Yeah, but my prediction was Mbappe would have the most inconsequential 35-game season
you said so.
in recent memory, because he will register his 35 goals. The guy is unstoppable, right? He's unstoppable. But that team is not properly constructed. Yinka, without checking, has Vinny Jr. scored 10 goals?
I don't think so.
Has he even scored 5 league goals?
I don't think so.
I mean, this was a man who, now let's be real. We don't think you need to score goals to even be considered a superstar or to even win the Ballon d'Or, which he thought he should have won, right?
Yeah.
But this is a guy who really only brings goals to the table. He doesn't defend.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't defend. We'll let him call himself a winger, but he's not what you and I grew up, understanding a winger to be.
Yeah.
He's a modern, let's call him a forward, charitably.
Mm-hmm.
If you put him in the middle, he's not really a midfielder. Let's be real, right? And he's too small to be a number 9. He doesn't have the skill set. We've seen very much unheralded Brazilians. And this was something I actually wanted to talk to you about if we have time. Like, who is going to beat Brazil's number 9 at the World Cup? There are some very interesting, solutions that the EPL has presented to Brazil, which, again, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I'm like, they may have solved their number 9 problem without even knowing. Through
Thiago.
That guy came from Ludo Goretz to Club Brugge. You know what I mean? From Cruzeiro to Ludo Goretz I'm like, you can't just waltz into the EPL and score 17 goals. And not all of them penalties. I think it's called like 6 penalties though. But still, but I'm just saying. And then your boy that you hate for whatever reason, João Pedro, I'm like, but anyway, I'm digressing. My point is you're being very kind and you're letting this guy slide for not being productive enough. This is a superstar who thinks he should have won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And you're letting your teammates do all, and this is all you do is score. You don't do much else, and you're not scoring. And I think that's a problem. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Are we done with La
that's
Liga?
it for La Liga. Yeah.
All right. So, Inka, let us go into the EPL, which you keep telling me is the best of them all, but I'm not going to fight you. You do you, boo. You do you. There was a big game. The last game of the. I don't think anyone's playing tomorrow, Monday. I think that was the last game of.
No, there are
the
midweek
weekend.
games actually.
Yeah, there's midweek
There's
games, but I don't
Tuesday,
think there's
Wednesday,
a
and
Monday
Thursday.
game.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think there's a
it's
Monday
the end
game.
of the match week. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so funny because Everton plays so many Monday games. I haven't checked this. So once I see that Everton has already played, I just assume there's no Monday games.
There's no Monday games.
Because they play so many. I don't know why. They just always put Everton on Monday games. But anyway, so let me see if I can set it up. Going into today, Sunday, Arsenal had a home game against Sunderland yesterday, Saturday. It was a pretty routine 3-0 win. It was a very tough, physical, but also routine win, right? And at the end of it, I was looking to myself, I'm like, okay, City are going to go into Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
And if City fails to win, they're either going to be 7 points behind or 9 points behind. Now, City did win at Anfield. They only their second win in 22 years or something like that. So now they're 6 points behind. Villa, you talked about before, they're 7 points behind. Liverpool have done themselves no favors at all because now they're behind Man U for the number 4 position. Are they 6th now?
They are behind Man U and Chelsea.
So that makes them 6th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to leave it there. Let you say whatever you want to say about the league. Mm-hmm. And then let's talk about the game itself. So whatever you want to talk about on the league, let's talk about it. And then let's get into the game itself.
Okay, so a couple of things. So Villa is actually 9 points behind because they drew the game. Yeah. They're on 47. Arsenal is on 56.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So the 9 points was already there. It was for if City lost, it would have stayed 9.
If City 9,
won,
my bad.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
City won. So that's why it's 6 now. Villa, we've spoken about Villa already. Let me just quickly address something before I go into specifics. So a lot of people, Chelsea and United fans have inserted themselves into. No. I'm not. I'm not bantering anybody. I'm just letting you know.
Go ahead.
Right?
Just kidding.
They've inserted themselves into this Premiership, race, and I don't have a problem with that. The more, the merrier. No.
I do.
No. The more, the merrier, right? Because Chelsea are the informed team. They've won 4 games in a row in the EPL. United have won 4 games in a row. So they believe that if they've won 4 in a row, they can always continue to win 4 in a row until. And I told them, I'm like, just know that you are still playing each other. Chelsea will play Man U, so y'all can
bless
win.
Their hearts.
Everybody can win. You can't win out. The 2 of you cannot. It's impossible. Yeah. But see, I don't even have a problem with that. I'm just saying let everybody have the same ambition. All these ones that y'all were saying, oh, it's Arsenal's to lose. Now everybody's in it. So don't tell me
they were saying it.
No. That's my point. You cannot say it's Arsenal's to lose and you say, okay, I'm in the title race. You can't. The two can be it's either this or the other one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Liverpool, on the other hand, Liverpool are out of Europe right now. Liverpool are on 39 points. They are now 4 points behind Chelsea. Liverpool, whatever happened today, Liverpool, they shot themselves in the foot big time. That Szoboszlai free kick was solid enough for 3 points. Something happened after that Szoboszlai free kick. It's like, I don't know what happened. And this is where leadership is lacking, which is where Virgil, this is where whoever it is, didn't organize as much. Forget the penalty, which we will talk about shortly. But I thought Liverpool, they should cover their faces in shame. It will be very, very bad for a defending champion to miss out on Europe in the next season after buying arguably the best talents the best 2 talents in the Bundesliga in Ekitike and Wirtz, after buying the best striker, right?
In the EPL.
In the EPL. I understand he's injured right now. I get all that, but it's still, you can't completely ignore it. After doing all that, if you're going to miss out on Europe, it brings into question your title championship the previous year. Yeah. And it also brings into question your, the consistency of your coach and the consistency and continuity in your team. Yeah?
I must respond.
Yes, sir.
I must respond.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
For many reasons. One, I live for better or worse, I live in a Liverpool household. So I must respond. This will not be the first time that a defending champion has fallen flat on their face. Like, I'll give you the obvious one, Leicester. Okay, yes. The following season, fluke. So again, I said last year that Liverpool were not 10 points better than everybody, right? There were things that happened that people don't want to talk about, right? So, and that's that. City had they just totally collapsed.
Back in they won it.
I know.
You know, every time you say this about Leicester, I keep going against you to say there's no asterisks on their title. They won it fair and square. You can only play against the people you're playing against.
Let me rephrase, okay, to make you happy and keep you happy, because I'm very interested in your happiness, Yinka. So let me rephrase, right? Anyone for me, the best way to crown a champion is through a league format. Everybody plays everybody home and away. The winner is the winner. That's the best for that season.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So, that's relative strength for that season. Over 38 games, you're relatively the best. Yes. Liverpool were relatively the best. It doesn't, so what the league title doesn't show you is absolute strength. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
yes,
I am talking about the absolute strength of that Liverpool team.
Yeah.
Right? So, and how they could, quote unquote, fall apart the following season.
Yes.
It wouldn't be the first time. We've seen Chelsea do it 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
This is kind of their stock in trade.
So, Akin, before you move on, I just think it's about life cycle of teams, right?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
On the ascendancy, you can win titles, but it gets to a point when you peak, you can just decide, you can just realize that you're going that way. And as you're going that way, on your way down, you might also find yourself in a situation where everything works for you and you still win the league.
And you win one. You know who they're the most like, which we don't talk about.
Yes.
Right? They're actually like Fergie's last title winning side. Right? Where everybody was old, but they were gifted Van Persie by the idiocy of Arsenal.
Yes.
And they won because Van Persie was just irrepressible.
He was by far the best player in the league. By far.
You couldn't, and then after that, there was no Van Persie and they were done.
Yeah.
Right. So I think they were more like, but again, I'm not taking it away from them. Yeah. But I'm just saying they won fair and square, but they were not 10 points better than everybody else. Other people had to conspire to give them, that platform. So now when somebody else, so some people will say that about this current season, which I think is crazy, but they can say that.
So that's my point. People will say whatever, right? And I don't have a problem with analyzing and but they won it. There's no asterisks against their name. They are the champions. You get what I mean?
Okay.
They remain the champions, right? So for them to then fall off this season after, if you look at the acquisitions, £550 million, you will think that they should strengthen the team, but they haven't. I'm just saying is they need to do some introspection, and if you miss out of Europe, right, it's gonna be bad.
They won't miss Europe, by the way. They will make Europe. They will. That's
okay. So you think they will end up ahead of Manchester United and Chelsea?
Oh yeah, one of them. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I have no doubt in my mind. All right, they're just a better team. I'm sorry, they're a better team than Man U, and they're a better team than Chelsea. I can say that.
So here's what I have to say about this.
Yeah,
squad depth and injuries will play a significant role in how this pans out. I was looking at a stat the other day. Since the turn of 2026, Arsenal and City have played midweek games. They've played 2 games a week since the beginning of 2026.
Yeah.
United they are in no competition anymore. They're not in anything. They're not in the FA Cup. They're not in so all United can do right now is play 90 minutes, chill for 1 week, and play another 90 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
So they're gonna ride. Hear me out. They're gonna ride this. They're gonna ride this wave. I believe they will ride it for a long time. There might be bumps, right?
Yeah.
I think they will ride it for a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
And we've seen this happen before, also in the past, right? Chelsea is where I am not too sure of what's going on there, right?
Okay.
Because Chelsea still have competitions to play. They are in the Champions League. By the time the Champions League qualifiers start, some of the fixtures that we have in the EPL, the stack of some of those fixtures will just be problematic. Imagine you going, let's say, Chelsea hosts Liverpool, and in between, there's a Champions League game. Then after that, you're going away to Villa. There is no way those 3 games or that insertion of that fixture will not affect how you will plan for the game before and the game after. Yeah?
Okay.
So you cannot ignore the fact that Chelsea have significant fixtures, right? Like Arsenal and City and Liverpool do. United will benefit from not playing midweek games. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So, Yinka, you know who plays 1 game a week in the EPL?
Who?
Almost every team. More than half of the teams play just 1 game per week. No. Hear me out. So my point is, it's the quality of your squad that matters.
Which I said.
Not exactly. It's not how many. Oh, that is the domain of losers when they start saying this one. We have squad congestion. One thing. Go.
Time out.
Yeah.
When we are talking, I am isolating the 6. Right.
Okay. Yeah, isolating the best teams already.
The 6. I'm talking Liverpool, Villa, the people. But from Brentford downwards, I'm not considering them. Right?
So
because in terms of squad quality, Brentford, they don't have it.
Okay. So I'm saying, right, right now as we're speaking, I'm not convinced that Man U are even in that bracket. They think they are. Right? I think they've had 4 good games under a new manager, but there's a reason they fired the old one.
Yes.
It wasn't because he won too many games. You know what I'm saying? So if you made me choose right now, right, I would say Man U would not make Europe. And that's I know
Man
that
U that have 1 week in the title race. You are saying they will not make.
Man U is not in any time. Man U is assuring that they will not end up in a relegation spat like they did last season. That's all they've done. All they've done is they're not in relegation.
Let's quickly talk about the game itself today, right?
Okay.
Liverpool started off the game a bit cautious. And for the first 15-20 minutes, City were the ones that were, making the incursions. Haaland had an early chance. Then, as the game, moved on, Liverpool started growing into the game, and they overtook City more or less. Ekitike had chances. There was one clear one that a header that he tried to he overthought it, yeah, and he put it wide. Salah was more or less non-existent, yeah. If you're talking about the Brady cliff, I think we've seen the best of Salah already. I think he's picked and I think he's declining. No disrespect, still arguably one
It's
of
true.
the best players in Liverpool, but yeah, he's not the old. It doesn't look like the old Salah that we
It just
know.
looks old.
Yeah. Gravenberch had a poor game today, in my opinion. Yeah. Szoboszlai, other than the free kick, had a poor game. Yeah.
Agreed.
And he was also culpable for the equalizer by City. After that free kick, like I said, something happened to Liverpool and their mentality shifted. And City just threw everything at them. And Liverpool, maybe they wanted to hold on to the 1-0. The equalizer, fair goal, no issues. But that penalty, Akin,
not a pen.
It's not a pen.
No.
It's not a pen. I don't know what's going on anymore. And the ref thought about it. Now here's the thing. I'm going off tangent a bit. Pardon me. Rodri last week, after what happened in London at the toilet bowl, he came out openly and he said, "It seems as if they don't want us to win." I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said.
Yeah,
it seems as if they don't want us to win. Then the decisions are not going our way. We won 2 more. They don't want us to win. That should warrant a fine by the FA, a misconduct charge and a fine. We've not heard anything. Nothing. And then this happens today. Gehi on Salah, for me, that's a doxo. Why that is not a doxo, I don't get it. Yeah, they said the defender is in line. This same last season, Arsenal away to Bournemouth, defender was in line. The VAR called the ref to tell him, you made a mistake, that's a red card. Why is that not law then? Your boss came out and convinced all of us that what the refs did then was correct. So why wasn't Gehi sent off today? Then you have the penalty. So my people say Ajekula no, Ajekula no mo kuleni. There is a reaction to what Rodri said. It's obvious something was planted in the minds of the refs, and because there's no way. Those are 2 slam dunk decisions, right? That's not a pen. Even if VAR looked at it and they say we agree with the on-field decision, really. So anyway,
for me, I have to speak about the penalty and then we can wrap.
Yeah.
For me, there were 2 PK cases this weekend that just made me give up. I've already talked about the first one that made me give up. I'm just done. Neither of these happened to my club. So let me start with the one from yesterday. So I believe the game at Newcastle,
Brentford
at Newcastle was 2-1 when this happened.
Yes.
Player running, opponent running. At best, a clash of legs. They were not even looking at each other. The ball was nowhere near where this collision happened. Nowhere near. The ball was somewhere else. Neither of them would ever get to the ball, even if they both transformed into Usain Bolt in the moment. The ball was nowhere near this action. Clash of legs. Outside the box, nothing. Nobody protests. Hey, bro, you're good. Dust yourself up. Keep on running. That's what that should have been. They were not near the action. Things can happen. Unfortunate circumstances can happen to you in the box, Yinka. Doesn't have to be a penalty. If I'm not punching you in the face, if there's a clash of heads, is that a penalty? No, it's an emergency.
It is.
It is. So I'm like, if the ball is not, meanwhile, people are getting pulled down and they don't call anything. Yep. So if you're being tripped without any intention, if you don't call it a foul outside, it's not a foul inside. So I'll leave that one alone. Back to today. Allison is coming for the ball, right? Defender kicks the ball. Sorry, attacker kicks the ball away. Attacker's momentum leads him into Allison. Allison's forward momentum is already on the ground, leads him into attacker. There is a clash. The ball is already gone. There's no forward progress. There's nothing. The ball's dead. That ball is gone. Nobody's scoring, Yinka. What? There's no decision to be made, Yinka. There is no decision to be made. I came out. Meanwhile, you're supposed to be giving goalkeepers the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
There is nothing to adjudicate. Again, if it's outside, the ball's gone. It's not a foul outside. What? So,
anyway, see, we're where we are,
I'm
right?
done.
And this kind of things will continue to happen, right?
Yeah.
Before we wrap, I know we've not done unpopular opinion in a while. I have one.
Yeah. Oh, go for it.
I have one, and maybe I'll just lay it out and we'll talk about it next season, right?
Okay, go for it.
I said it earlier when you and I were chatting on WhatsApp. I said that the English press is overglazing Declan Rice. Yeah. And
Okay.
I just thought about it. I'm like, this season, Declan might not actually be the best midfielder in that Arsenal team. Talking about based on this season and the gameplay this season, right?
Yeah.
Martin Zubimendi, and this is an unpopular opinion, has had a better season for Arsenal this season than Declan Rice.
Okay. So we can talk about it more next week, but I want to talk about something. I want to react to it right now. So I think Zubimendi is the signing of the season in the EPL. I don't think it's close, right? And I've tried to explain this before, right? You know, you guys used to say I overrate Partey, right? You guys used to say this. You remember? You guys used to say this. The one thing I've tried to explain to people.
But you overrate Partey.
No, but let me tell you what it is, right? Let me tell you what used to impress me about Thomas Partey, right? Because I watched him at Atleti, and it was nowhere near, you know, what it became under Arteta. So I don't know if Arteta is a great manager or not, but I know Arteta understands the modern number 6. He has his own way of playing the number 6 in the modern game, right? That no other coach does. Everything else you can say he copied from Pep. This number 6 thing is Arteta's and Arteta's alone. It doesn't do the top double pivot. It doesn't protect the 6. It leaves you in there. You stand in the pocket by yourself and you take on 3 people all at once. That is a uniquely Arteta thing. No one has copied it because it is hard to do. The reason that you people say that I overrate Partey is Partey was the first person I saw who did this without protection, right? When he started doing the thing, the person that could have helped him, they went and shunted him to the left 8. That was Xhaka. Xhaka was the only person on that first Arteta Partey team that had the skill set to it. There was no help. It was going 1 versus 3 every game, and he couldn't make mistakes, right? And now they've told Zubimendi to, again, I watched Zubimendi, he was not playing like this. The few games he has played for Spain, he didn't play like this. All the games he played for Real Sociedad, he never played like this. Again, the reason he's had a couple mistakes is not the physical athlete that Partey is.
No, so the reason why he's had a couple mistakes is because he's given a very, very, very critical role to play. Most of the mistakes he's made, the one he made against Spurs and the one he made against, they gave him pass. There is borderline hospital pass. The passes were given to him where he was under pressure.
Yeah.
And they do this almost every game. It's like Saliba is pressed. What's his name? Gabriel is pressed. Give it to
this guy.
Give it to this guy.
Yeah.
And at every point in time, he eases the pressure. It's like a release valve. He releases the pressure. He's been doing this every game. So in a couple of games where he does not do it, it is so critical that you see that the opposing team goes to score almost immediately. It becomes an error. Whereas when someone else further down the pitch does it, but he's more progressive. Dare I say he's even a bit more defensive. And Akin, his goals and assist contribution this season.
He has 5 goals in EPL. More goals from Zubimendi than from the own goal.
Now, hear me out. I'm not saying Rice is not a good player. I'm not saying Rice is probably not even better than him. I'm talking about this season. And maybe what I don't really like about the Rice situation is the English press. They are minimizing the impact of every other person in Arsenal. And every time it's just Rice. And I'm like, I know they watch this match. I watched this game. Yes, Rice had a good game. But Zubimendi had a better game than him, for example. Nobody talks about that. And they hate the fact that Odegaard is the captain. And I think they want to arm twist Arsenal to make Rice captain.
And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because you know why? They don't know who Saka is. Saka has a lot of ego and pride. He's just a nice kid. He isn't. He's everything. But Saka sees himself as the leader of that team. That's his team. He's not giving it up. And you can see that's who the captain's armband goes to next after Odegaard. And he leads.
Then after Odegaard, Gabriel.
Then it's Gabriel. Big guy.
Then Rice.
And after that, Mourinho. Yeah. Well, then maybe. Well, actually, I think Mourinho is before Rice.
No, it's Rice.
But
we
have to wrap. But let me talk about your Rice thing real quick. Yes. So a little bit of mitigation for the press.
Yes.
Right. I think they've seen him grow. One, he's now hit 300 plus games in the EPL.
Yes.
In 10 years.
Yes.
Right. And he's still, I don't think it's 28 yet. Maybe he's 28.
Yeah. 27, 28. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 10 seasons, he's almost indestructible. He doesn't miss games. Right. This is gone from a center back to a classic number 6 to struggling as a left 8 in the first season with Arsenal. Now he's become what the English like, a swashbuckling, all action midfielder. We saw this in the Gerrard versus Scholes versus Lampard debate.
Yes.
They like the one that can do the most.
Yes.
Right? They like the one that can do the most. And not just do the most, but appear like he's doing the most.
Yeah, the animated, the more animated one.
Animated, right? Yes. And so none of that takes anything away from what he does, but they seem physically and visibly taking responsibility. You don't have to be smart to understand Declan Rice's game. And I'm not saying anybody's dumb, but I'm saying there is really not a lot of nuance. There is nuance, but you don't have to see the nuance to appreciate his game, because I think is the most athletic, good midfielder in the league.
Yeah,
I think I can say that. Of all the great players, I think Szoboszlai is very athletic, but you've already said it. Szoboszlai doesn't play defense.
Yeah.
Right? So I think of all the top midfield is way more athletic than Rodri. Way more athletic.
Rodri is
way more athletic.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that's another thing. Like, he's almost indestructible. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't have niggles. So there's a lot of reasons why, they're quote unquote glazing him, as you said. But thank you for bringing that up, Yinka. We can talk about it some more next week. Do you have
we'll talk about it more next week.
Donkey? Do you have a donkey?
I was going to give the refs in England again, and I remember Lucas Digne. Guys, go watch that. That's the most ridiculous piece of defending I've seen in my life. Go watch it.
And it was not a bad, maybe it's just getting old. It wasn't a bad defender.
Exactly. Literally, it's like he opened the gate and the guy just strolled by him.
Yeah,
if not that the fact that YouTube will flag us if we put the clip, I will have put the clip. You guys will see it. Go watch it if you can. It's ridiculous. The guy just went by him. So Digne, you're my donkey of the week. Don't defend that again. Don't do that again.
All right. Take us out, brother. We're done.
Thank you very much, people. Exceeded 1 hour by 10 minutes, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you once again. We are steadily climbing towards our next 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the engagement. Please, we want more. Like I always say, anytime we come across you come across us on your social media platforms, please do the needful. Subscribe where you have to subscribe, like where you have to like, engage us where you have to. Thanks for the support once again, and we will see y'all next week, I believe.
All right. Inka, this was fun. Thank you, Inka. Thank you, everyone. We will be back next week. The Super Bowl starts in like an hour or two. So by the time you watch this, it would have already happened. Inka, this is the first time in 20 plus years that I don't really care about the game. I'm going to miss at least an hour of it. There's just too much going on in the world that it just doesn't.
I think I'll just go to bed too. I'm not interested.
Yeah, especially in this country, it's way too much. There's way too much going on for me to even care about this. But good luck to the people playing. It is what it is. I hope Bad Bunny kills it. I don't know any of his songs. I don't care about this, but I care that it bothers some people. So because it bothers a certain segment, I hope he does numbers, big numbers.
The group that believe he's not American. These are the people.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, you went to Puerto Rico. I don't know why you did. So because it's Puerto Rican, he's American. You can't do anything about it. So it is what it is. All right. Thank you, everybody. Anyway, and
thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.